Welcome to your weekly UAS news update, the place where you don't get your news 2 weeks late. And this is the week of March 7th, 2022. This week we got 5 topics. One of them is pretty important. That's the first one we're going to talk about. Flyers in Oregon need your help. There is a potential change in drone regulation that's happening at the state park level, and we need you to do something. So we'll talk about that. We have an upcoming event in Texas that we want to talk about, and we're bringing a guest to talk about it. We're going to talk about a BVLOS by Iris Automation, which is kind of interesting, which could lead the way to other things. And then lastly, we'll talk about the Mini 3. We talked about it last week from DJI. There's going to be more information and maybe even some specs. So let's get to it. All right, the first thing this week is some regulation coming from Oregon. We've mentioned this in the past, but now it's getting pretty dire because there's a group that's really trying to prevent drones from flying inside of Oregon state parks. Now you may be thinking, I don't live in Oregon, I don't really care about this. Think again, actually, because anything that happens at the state level anywhere can actually be used in the future as a template. And it would be really too bad to see that Oregon sets the way for preventing drones from flying into the state park. Next week, we're going to have a discussion on this. We're actually going to bring Vic and Kenji from the Drone Service Provider Alliance. But I did want to get your help this week to talk about this and to ask you to go and send an email. It should not take a whole lot of your time. Essentially, what is happening is that the proposed regulation is actually pretty good. They're proposing to make a change where drones would be allowed to fly in specific areas and not in others. And you may think, well, didn't you say we want drones to fly everywhere? Not necessarily. There are areas where we want to make sure that we prevent drones from flying because of wildlife, but the way that a group right now is proposing is that they want to prevent drones from flying everywhere except for a few areas. And there's a big difference between not being allowed to fly anywhere except for a few areas versus being able to fly everywhere except for a few select areas. And this is what you need to get your point across. You need to make sure that you let this group know, the Oregon Parks and Rec, make sure you let them know that as proposed, the regulation is actually okay, because it's the best compromise where we would let drones fly pretty much everywhere except for a very few special areas. Bringing drones to only one area to be allowed to fly can actually lead to more risk and to having more potential for aircraft collision and a whole lot of different things. And also, not allowing drones to fly anywhere is going to lead to people doing it anyway, which is not something that we want, and I'm sure not something that Oregon actually wants to see either. So again, there's a comment, there's an email down in a comment that you can find and send an email to. There was also a bunch of articles written. Haya from Drone Excel actually wrote a great piece. Also, DSPA wrote a great piece. So we're going to put links. Please go and read these. Pay attention. This could be something that comes in your state next if it goes as approved. So we really, really need you to take action. Okay. And for the second story this week, we have a dear friend of mine, Adrian Doko, who's going to be talking to us about an event that's happening in Texas. And I usually don't do segments on events that are happening, but this segment is really close to me because, one, I'm going to be there, but two, we've been sponsoring this event since it started back in 2019. Last year, the event unfortunately was canceled because of, well, you know what. And it's back this year with a revenge. And this is one of these events that I think if you're in the area or even if you can travel, you should be at, because there's going to be a ton of really good information. But Adrian, welcome to the show. Thanks for being with us.
You bet. Thanks for having me, Greg.
So Adrian, tell us, first off, when is the event happening and where is it happening?
Yeah, so next week, March 19th and 20th, here in North Texas, Lewisville, Texas, specifically at the Multicultural event, we'll be hosting the Texas Drone Workshop live and direct. Day one is going to be in the class, and then day two will be hands-on out in the field.
And so this event is for who? Who should be going to this event to learn?
Anyone that's contemplating becoming a drone service provider, or even people that are in the space currently, will be a lot of valuable information in the business of creating a drone business, essentially.
Yep. And so you've lined up quite the roster of people who are in the industry doing this on a day-to-day basis. I know I'm going to be kicking off actually talking about advanced airspace and something more complex than what you usually see on the Part 107. But who else do you have coming, and what are they going to be teaching?
Yeah, so we have an all-star lineup. We've tried to create the dream team, if you will. First and foremost, we have Ken Dono from Original Dobo fame. He's going to have a course on real estate. We also have myself as well as John McBride will be discussing thermal and infrared sensors on drones. Jared Janacek, the founder of Texas Drones company, and I believe Robert Abels as well will be discussing FPV. And then last but not least, Sparky Sorensen from Sparky's production. He's going to be teaching cinematography, a well-known figure in the drone space.
Yep. So regardless of where you are in the drone space, there's something out for you to learn. And this is a two-part event. So there's an event on Saturday, which is going to be on the ground. And then can you talk about the event on Sunday? What's going to happen there?
Yeah, so Sunday is where we really share the secret sauce. We'll be out in the field. We have several locations that we've prepared specifically, for example, for the thermal setup. We'll be going over solar array assessments and different inspection protocols, and then each specific course, for example, the mapping, you'll get into details on how to set up a mapping protocol, and each particular instructor will be out in the field, hands-on, going through the motion. This is what a lot of people have been asking: how do I really physically do this versus an online or virtual event? So I think it's crucial to discuss how we set up our business for success.
Yep. So, and this is a small group. There's going to be 150 people max at the event. So the seats are actually filling up. So if you're interested, be sure to reserve your seat so you don't show up on the day of the event and find out that it's been sold out. There are. Let's talk about the cost, because one of the reasons I always get excited about this event is because it's extremely affordable for what you provide. So how much does it cost?
So essentially, what we're charging is to cover our costs for these, the facilities and the food and beverage. So it's going to be $150 per day. So a total of $300 for the full course. And all we're trying to do here is protect our members and our drone community from these other companies that are selling snake oil and charging people $2,000 to $3,000. So $150 a day, Greg. I think that's a value if you're into the drone business.
Yes, I agree. This is absolutely the perfect price. So food is going to be provided. You'll have a place to sit where you come in on Saturday, and then on Sunday you'll be able to be with the dream team and following them and seeing how they do things in real life. So I know I'm really excited to see everyone. So again, this is not this weekend, the following weekend in Texas. We're going to put a link down in the description for more information. Adrian, where are you at right now? You've got a really cool background. Tell us what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm live and direct from the Helicopter Expo here in Dallas, Texas. Unfortunately, there's a TFR in place, a VIP TFR, so we're not able to fly any helicopters, but there's a lot of cool tech. There's some really big autonomous helicopters or unmanned helicopters as well. So great event for the next 3 days. If you're in Dallas, definitely check it out.
Outstanding. Well, Adrian, thank you. Can't wait to see you in a week and a half, and then we'll make sure that students sign up, and we'll talk to you soon.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Greg.
The next story this week is Iris Automation and the Reno Fire Department have partnered, and Iris Automation, on behalf of the Reno Fire Department, received a waiver to fly beyond visual line of sight. Now, we talk about beyond visual line of sight quite a bit. We talk about some companies being allowed to do it. This looks like it's kind of a first in terms of a fire department being able to get this. This is without any visual observer. This is also without any use of ground detection equipment. This is big because they're actually using a sense and avoid technology on board of the aircraft in order to allow the aircraft to avoid other aircraft when they're flying beyond visual line of sight. The FAA is very much interested in making sure that when you fly beyond visual line of sight, you have some way of avoiding other aircraft in the area, and sense and avoid sensors, if you want, is really what's going to allow us to do this. So in this case, Iris Automation is kind of leading the pack. They've been in the news quite a bit actually for their sensors. So Make sure that you read more information down in here. We'll put a link from the Reno Fire Department, and if you're interested in this kind of stuff. All right, the last story this week is the Mini 3 that we talked about last week. There were pictures. Some of you said it's fake. Some of you said it probably is real. Now there's more leaks, possibly even some specifications. There's talks about this drone having a 1/1.3 inches CMOS sensor, f1.7 aperture, which is actually a pretty large aperture compared to what we've seen before. It looks like this drone might be able to even record very high up, the way that the gimbal is tilted. It also looks like there would be the ability to do vertical mode, so vertical pictures, and then having a 3-directional obstacle avoidance, which is not something that we've seen on the Mini, at least from DJI. We've seen other drones out there that have drone detection, but not in the DJI Mini. So active track would also be available, and then it would be running O3, which is the OcuSync 3 from DJI that we've seen in other drones. That is actually pretty incredible technology. So we'll see what happens. We'll keep you posted when we see more information about this drone, but it looks like DJI is, well, I don't think DJI is releasing, but there's more and more information being released about this drone. Rumors, granted, at the moment, but we've learned in the past that a lot of these rumors eventually become true for the majority. So. The last thing I want to talk about is something I talked about last week, and I thank you if you send me an email. PSI is having some issues. We actually had quite a few students. I've been talking with the FAA about this issue, trying to find out how we can prevent that from happening in the future to you. So if you did not email me and you had PSI trouble, please do so. There's also a link down in here where you can contact PSI. You should be asking for a refund if you were affected. And then you should also email the testing certification branch from the FAA to let them know about your experience. PSI provides a service on behalf of the FAA. They are hired by the FAA to do this, and anything like this, like what we saw last week, is 100% unacceptable. So please let them know so they can fix it. The major problem at the moment is that PSI has a monopoly, so there's very little incentive for them to do a better job, other than the fact that you should let the people know that are in charge, which is the FAA in this case. So, all right, that's all I have for you this week. As always, like, subscribe, leave your comments. We actually leave the comments on our video, and like other people. So we're happy to discuss with you every week and talk about drone news. So see you next week.